Hello, this is John here with another tutorial in Moodle, and in this tutorial video we're going to continue our coverage on quizzes. And in this video we're going to take a special look at categories for our question banks and the settings that surround those. And we're also going to take a look at the import feature. In order to access some of the additional settings within quizzes, we're first going to go up to our administration tab. And there's going to be a list there that says Course Administration. This will allow us to go through and edit particular settings that surround each of these little areas. Particularly, you're going to be most interested in the Edit Settings page, which will allow you to edit the overall quiz. And the Edit Quiz will allow you to insert questions into the quiz. If we scroll down to Question Bank, it will pop up another little list. And this will allow us to make adjustments to our question bank. As you see here, it led me to our question bank page where we can go through at the top and select the category we want to view. The quiz will always be at the top that we are editing from, so it will list all the questions from that quiz if we click on that. From here, you can go through and you can edit the question bank to your liking. You can delete questions by pushing the X. We can preview the question, we can copy the question, and we can have an area where we can edit the question as well. If we do have an extensive question bank that is very big, we can go through and organize this so it's a little bit more cleaner and we can navigate through it a little bit better. We even can create new questions from the screen, and once we click on this button, it will bring up a screen similar to the Add a Question feature on the Edit Questions screen, where we can go through, select the type of question we want to include, and then we can edit the question from there. And as opposed to adding it to a quiz, it will add it to this question bank. In order to add a question bank, we want to scroll down to Categories. And this will allow us to add a question bank category. Here we will want to name it. And we can provide some category info if we have a particular class that we're inserting this in. Once we're done, we can go ahead and click Add Category. This will add the question bank onto our list, and we can move it around with the little arrows. I included my question bank into my quiz. You typically want to insert it in your course, but for the sake of this video, I did it that way. Just because this question bank is only going to be a temporary feature. Now that we have the question bank in place, we can go ahead and click on it. And this will allow us to edit the settings for the question bank. And we can finally go through and we can add questions to our category. So if we go back and we click on questions, we can select the category and we can edit the questions from here. Now that we kind of got a basis on how to add questions to the question bank and how to add categories and stuff like that, we can go through and I can show you a neat feature called Import. This will allow us to actually import questions from our files. In the Import questions screen, we'll want to first go through and select the file format that we want to transfer over. Typically, we're going to be stuck with the Aiken format because there is a requirement for us to do that. But if you are transferring from a Word file, you want to select that one. And then we'll go ahead and go to General, where we'll select our question bank we want to include this in. What to do if your grades are not matching. So if there's an error, the grade won't be listed. If there is not, it will find the nearest grade. We will go ahead and leave it if there's an error, the grade not listed. And we can stop on an error if we choose to do so too. Next, we can go ahead and choose our file, but first let's take a look at how to format our Word document so that it works for importing. So just taking a quick glance at this, we have our question at the top and our multiple choice questions below it. You want to make sure that your numbers or your answers are numbered appropriately with a letter and a period. You got to make sure they're uppercase. And then right after that, you can include the answer right below the question. I typically highlight my answers just to help me, but you don't have to do that. You just have to make sure that these are in the right format. All the questions are the same. And then once you are done with your inserting questions into a Word file, we can go up, save the file as, and then we'll want to make sure that we choose plain text. Once we save that file as plain text, we'll go ahead and save it. And then we'll take a look at that and we'll click OK. This will save the file. After that, we'll go back to our Moodle screen. We'll click on choose a file. We'll click on browse. We'll find the file that we just made. And then we can click upload this file. After that, we can go ahead and click import. And this will begin importing our file, or importing our questions from our file. And as you see, it did go through and it identified each of our questions. So we can go ahead and click continue. And then they add them into our question bank. From here, we can go ahead and we can further make edits to each of these questions by just clicking on the little edit settings gear. And it allows us to go through and you can verify to make sure that the answer is correct and that everything imported correctly. So as you see here, the answer I did choose in our Word file, if we can pop that open here. For our favorite food, I chose pizza, and it is the correct answer on the thing with a grade of 100%. So that is how you transfer and import your questions from a Word document into a question bank within Moodle. Once we have included the question bank, we can go back and edit our quiz. We can go ahead and add from a question bank. We can add our new questions from our new category that we just created. And by highlighting the ones that we want to include, we can add the selected questions to the quiz. And we're going to go ahead and make this total points out of 6. So we'll make each of these worth 2. And we'll go through and edit so each of these questions are now worth 2 as opposed to 1, and that will give us the full value for our maximum grade. Now that we have all of our questions set up, we can go back through and we can go ahead and preview this. Previewing quizzes is something that you should just have ingrained after you've inserted a quiz into your course, that you just want to go through and just make sure that it functions the way it needs to and it looks the way you want it to. And you can just go through and answer the questions like you would a student. And once we are done with the quiz, we will have an idea of how our students are going to see it when they finish their quiz. And as you see, all of our questions from our Word document are functioning the way they need to. And we have the same point values as we have on our quiz. And we have the questions in our question bank. So if we do want to insert these questions in later quizzes, we're more than welcome to. And that is how you add categories for your question banks and import Word documents into your quizzes. Thank you for watching.